Welcome, guys. This is AMKS Goddess Radio, AMKS Goddess Radio. And I'm here live today.
July 22nd, 4 a.m. outside, 2018. Guys, in this video, we're going to take a look at some new examples of this very mysterious phenomenon in the world. Giant squares in the sky. And as we all can pretty much agree on, nature doesn't work in carpet or a rug in the sky. This one here is obviously tremendously huge. I'm at strangesounds.org, and the story is titled Abnormal Square Clouds Are Forming Around the World and Nobody Can Explain Why. And I've got some new pictures to share with you guys that have been sent in recently. There is an explanation that kind of insinuates that airplanes are responsible for these, in some cases, huge structure like perfect 90-degree angles in the sky. And it's almost hard to believe simply because, here's a good example here. If you look inside of the giant chevron, triangle, square, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't look like a natural phenomenon. Now, inside of it, it does. Those cloud-like formations look very random. The sky is very random. If you could see the air, it would look probably much like the ocean waves or something, similar to that. It's very random. If you saw this out in the ocean, it would be extremely difficult to explain. With regard to the sky, they're saying that airplanes are causing this because airplanes travel in the sky. Can you imagine if something like this were spotted in the ocean and stayed there for an extended period of time, and it was blamed on a ship or a pair of ships? That's about how much sense it makes to me. But I find them very fascinating. Some of them are extremely big. In fact, I've got some new pictures of a very large one that was sent in a couple of weeks ago that I'm going to share with you here in just a minute. But first, I want to share from yesterday morning, around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I went outside with the camera, pointed it towards the sky, and as you can see, I captured some sort of a anomaly during a very rapid burst of lightning. This wasn't a bolt, this was just a large flash in the sky. That appeared, and I have that on video. This only occurred in a matter of probably less than a second. The camera just happened to detect whatever this is, but it looked like something either came through the cloud or went up through the cloud, made a hole. I don't know. It's almost kind of even difficult to describe. But here's the video that I took from 4 a.m. yesterday morning. And you can see that, whatever that is, that appeared in the video. This is at normal speed. There is hold on, let me reposition this video so that we can all see it. There we go. It's right down here in the lower left-hand corner. This was at 4 a.m., approximately 4 a.m. See it? Isn't that weird? I'll play it again. But much like the big squares or triangles in the sky, it's just hard to explain. There it is right there. Let me play it again. Back it up a little bit. I thought I could zoom in. There we go. Now I've got it slowed down tremendously so we can get a better look at it. I don't know if that's some sort of it wasn't raining. Maybe it's a rain shaft coming down through the cloud.
That is something really cool, right?
Like a tornado, even though it's...
Let's talk about the RFID chip.
Coming down through the cloud.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea.
What's with these guys talking about,
Hey guys and gals, my name is Jason Bond, founder of JasonBondPicks.com, and I teach people how to trade stocks. Now, I use 3 simple patterns.
Ding, 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 ding. If I think you need to rest. Thank you. Alright. I don't know what it is with these people in Africa. They're doing the land grabs and They're doing all these, kicking the white folks out, killing the Christians in Nigeria.
I had a friend
Nick Rockefeller. Okay, he was one of the Rockefeller family. And he, when I was running for governor in Nevada, he came to me, introduced himself to me to an attorney, and we became friends. We started talking about things. And I learned an awful lot from Mr. Rockefeller. And one of the things that we used to talk about was the ultimate plan of the banking industry, what they wanted to accomplish. And the goals of the banking industry, not just the Federal Reserve System, but the private banks in Germany and England, all over Italy, all over the world, they all work together. They're all central banks. And they're all part of the Communist Manifesto. You know, central banking is one of the major planks of the Communist Manifesto. We talk about America being a capitalistic country, but yet at the same time we have a central bank that plans everything for us, right? And the graduated income tax is another plank of the Communist Manifesto, right? So right there you have two major planks of the Communist Manifesto that have been brought in because of the Federal Reserve System, okay? So the ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one-world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy foods. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do,
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one-world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave. You become a serf to these people. That's their goal. That's their intention.
The blockchain is the DNA of the mark of the beast. ID2020.org. Digital identity benefits both individuals and organizations. Personal. Unique to you and only you. Persistent. Lives with you from life to death. Portable. Accessible anywhere you happen to be through multiple form factors. A unique convergence of trends provides an unprecedented opportunity to make a coordinated, concerted push towards the goal of universal digital identity. New technologies including blockchain, when it is used in conjunction with long-proven technologies such as biometrics, now make it possible for all people to have access to a safe, verifiable, and persistent form of technology. The ID 2020 project is funded by Accenture Corporation and Rockefeller Foundation. Accenture and Microsoft are creating a blockchain solution for this digital biometric ID. They are working for a biometric blockchain technology to decentralize the digital identity. This platform is called the Decentralized Identity Foundation. Decentralized Identity Foundation. A key of the decentralized identity equation is how people, devices, and other entities in the world are identified absent a centrally owned registry. DIF seeks to address this by developing specifications, protocols, formats, and implementations for cross-chain routing, indexing, and resolution of decentralized identifiers and names. Some of the points for the Decentralized Identity Foundation are decentralized identities anchored by blockchain IDs linked to zero-trust data stores that are universally discoverable. This crossover platform for the digital universal ID
is the framework for the mark of the beast.
I hope you all have had opportunities to make new connections and have some interesting conversations so far. Welcome to the session on the journey to self-sovereign identity. And like any good story or any good journey, this one is comprised of an interesting cast of characters.
The Sovereign Foundation is a private sector international nonprofit that was established to govern the world's first self-sovereign identity network. Identity for all. Self-sovereign identity is an identity that is 100% owned and controlled by an individual or organization. This group and many others like it are working towards the globally recognized universal ID for the biometric blockchain system. For everybody. For all people. This is why it says in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16, about the mark of the beast, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. This is an all-inclusive global biometric ID. They are setting up what is called a singleton. The philosophy behind the singleton is that ultimately there will be an artificial intelligence governed, whether it be perpetually for good or perpetually for evil. The narrative being shared is that in order for us to stop a perpetual evil global governance using the artificial intelligence, they must institute the artificial intelligence global governance for perpetual good. But really, they're both evil. Listen to this interview of Elon Musk in reference to the artificial intelligence system.
So we need to be very careful with artificial intelligence. I'm increasingly inclined to think that there should be some regulatory oversight maybe at the national and international level, just to make sure that we don't do something very foolish. With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon.
Even the Ethereum digital blockchain currency is no stranger to the satanic influence, as you see the pentagram on their website. This is not a coincidence by any standards. The United Nations, ITU, suggests that the artificial intelligence be used for good for global governance. The United Nations is suggesting that the artificial intelligence be implemented for global governance in order to track and monitor all things on the planet in order to bring solution to the Sustainable Development Goals. The artificial intelligence tracking the blockchain is their solution. Other organizations and alliances are working towards the same goal. FinTech for Good. Blockchain for Sustainable Development Goals Alliance brings together institutions and global leaders to develop POCs and pilots and mobilize capital to scale up such blockchain-based SDG solutions. United Nations Commission for Blockchain. Blockchain for Impact. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation presents The Goalkeepers. The UN-based Better Than Cash Alliance, funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is moving towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals through digital payments. The World Bank, blockchain technology redefining trust for a global digital economy. The blockchain is a major breakthrough. That's because its decentralized approach to verifying changes in important information addresses the centuries-old problem of trust, a social resource that is all too often in short supply, especially amid the current era's rampant concerns over the security of valuable data. It turns out that fixing that can be a boon for financial inclusion and other basic services delivery, helping to achieve the global objectives laid out in the Sustainable Development Goals. NASDAQ.com. Blockchain technology and the changing global economy at the Ethereal Summit. Blockchain technology is predicted to add 2.5 billion people to a new decentralized global economy. The promise: an inclusive global economy. Blockchain technology empowers all individuals. All individuals, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. The end goal for them is to get a biometric implant ID.
They're talking about vaccinating, blockchaining,
tracked throughout the world using artificial intelligence in order to solve the Sustainable Development Goals. The blockchain will be used to track all the data in its supply chain, including your digital currencies.
Tesla. Here's something else.
Materialism never leads to godliness. Things are only obstacles in the way of an eternal perspective. We talk about mission. There will be some of our brothers tonight in places around the world on mission for God. They will starve to death tonight because of their confession of Christ. There are others that will live in places you wouldn't put your pigs for the sake of Christ.
So likewise, whosoever of you does not forsake all that he has cannot be my disciple.
Let me ask you something. How much has Christianity cost you? How much has it really cost you? How much have you had to suffer for the sake of Christ? How much have you lost for Him?
Yeah, all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. 2 Timothy. You may ask yourself, Goddess, why are you playing all of these things? So we may hear these things of treacherous things going on in the world today. In Nigeria, of land grab and persecution of Christians, the execution. How about people, foreigners, trying to get in with Americans, saying, I want to be with you, I want to be with you, I want to be with you. I mean, they don't want to be with me. They want what they think I have, and I don't have anything at all. I don't have anything at all. That's what's crazy about all of this. I don't have anything at all. You mean? It's really amazing. I don't have anything at all. Nothing else matters is what's playing on this.
I'll always ask young people,
Nothing else
you know,
matters.
what do you talk about most? There's your God. What do you think about most? There is your God. What do you have your eye set upon? There is your mission, and your God, and your heart, and your treasure. What consumes you? One of the worst things you can do is reduce Christianity down to a moral thing you do because it's what everyone else who is moral does. Talking about passion. We're talking about treasure. When I was in Peru serving the Lord, it was during a terrible war. People were dying all around. Sometimes I was in the city of Lima, which was considered the worst place on the face of the earth at that time. Sometimes in the jungles, on the Amazon, sometimes on the Marañón, sometimes in the Andes Mountains. Fraught with danger. People used to tell me, oh, it must be so hard to live for Christ there. No. Easiest thing I've ever done was live for Christ there. Why? You have nothing. You have nothing but Christ. And if Christ doesn't save you that day, you won't be saved. If He doesn't feed you that day, you won't be fed. If He doesn't protect you, you will not be protected. There's nothing you can do in the arm of your own strength. Get up in the morning, you get out of the tent, you go bathe in the river, you come back, you eat something. You go preach the gospel all day. You come home, you collapse in the tent, you wake up the next morning, you do it all over again. No cars, no homes, no keeping up with the Joneses, no designer clothes, no malls, no anything. Just Christ. And it was so easy to live for Him. It was so easy. It took almost no effort. Because there was nothing competing with Him.
Nothing else matters. Say, Goddess.
I feel like one of the worst things that ever happened to me, even though I know it isn't, because it is within the will of God. God called me to come back to the United States. Oh, it was horrible.
Goddess,
It was horrible.
what are you saying?
Try being in Peru and all that poverty, and then snap yourself out of there in 1 second and stand in the middle of a North American mall. It'll make you want to puke.
Do not pray that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil ones. Jesus Christ, John 17:15. Nothing else matters, it says.
Look around at everything that glitters and shines.
All of these songs
Just make you
were
nauseous.
written long before.
It is not hard to live for Christ in Peru. It's hard to live for Christ in the United States of America. Such a battle. And to be honest with you folks, we're losing it.
This company is paid to create
So I just created
rain.
this dope website with Wix.
This guy
Let me show
wants
you
to
how I
be
did
Eddie
it.
Murphy so bad I can't
First
stand
up,
it.
go to Wix.
Can you feel it? Something strange is happening to the weather. This is an undeniable fact that millions of people are faced with every single day. They look outside and see a blazing, white-hot sun that is literally burning plants alive. A sun so hot
It's
that
a
it will
cinder.
melt plastic, burn holes in foliage, wipe out entire colonies of insects, and cause skin cancer and severe burns on unprotected skin. People look into the sky, and instead of seeing white, fluffy clouds, all they see are trails of vapor making a checkerboard pattern in the sky. After it rains,
Chemtrails,
black, moldy residue
geoengineering.
will grow in places that has never seen mold before. Hurricanes are flooding parts of the world, all while large wildfires burn down entire towns and turn forests into ashes. Areas that have never had droughts are suddenly faced with no rain, and places that never see rain are suddenly being flooded by extreme downpours. I could go on and on because one thing is certain. Something is happening to the weather. The mainstream media will tell you it's man-made, global warming caused by CO2 emissions from burning fossil fuels. However, independent researchers are figuring out something else, something far more sinister. Yes.
Let's read this. Chemtrails. Okay, this guy won't stop texting me. I don't understand it. Chemtrails are geoengineered aerosol loaded with toxic chemicals. They include barbarium, strontium-90, aluminum, cadmium, zinc, viruses, and chaff, which looks like snow but is actually mylar fibers coated with aluminum, desuffocated blood cells, plastic, and paper. Right? Everybody that did the snow challenge this year, you know the snow was not snow. It melted like, I don't even know wanted to tell you guys, I've not felt good for the last couple of days. I just got home from California, and I'm sorry that it's not me playing my guitar. None of these songs are original that these people are doing anymore. They're killing everybody that doesn't want to conform. The drama of it all is we don't know what to do and how to stop it. Okay? That's the truth of it. That's the truth of it.
This is caused by humans, but it is not what you think.
The Jordanian government has collaborated with German rainfall technology company WeatherTech. The company has built 4 cloud ionization towers in Jordan to emit icons into the atmosphere to encourage rainfall. Between May and July, the company induced rainfall 5 times, and this could almost double by the end of the year. The technology relies on several factors such as humidity and wind to work properly. And experts believe under the right conditions, rainfall could fully be restored in Jordan.
So there you have it, right out of the horse's mouth. They can and do control the weather. Now think about this for a second. If this is what they are openly advertising, what do you think they have tucked away, hidden from the prying eyes of the public?
Oh, we already know.
Take this technology and combine it with
Let's not lie to ourselves.
HARP, AI, and the new quantum computing network. And what you have is a complete control over the...
This is an ad for a project management tool called Monday.com. This is what
it's
it looks
just
like.
Getting interesting.
This is what it feels like.
Got a picture of CERN on there.
What they are trying to do is usurp the authority of God by claiming this new earth, the one they created, is not his creation anymore. It was hijacked and modified and turned into something else. After watching this clip, it made me curious. Who is this WeatherTech, and what are they actually doing? So I went to their website, and what I found shocked me. Let's go over it together. First thing I noticed when going to their website was their logo. And you can see it right there, clear as day. WeatherTech with the as above, so below symbolism. They have the rainbow on the top and the solid line on the bottom. This was not by accident. What we see here on the main page,
people read so much into the signs.
Enhancement. Think rain.
Okay, let me tell you something. God put signs out there. Yeah. And man takes the signs and man twists the signs, right? Twist the signs, twist the signs, twist the signs, twist the signs. Dude, later. I am online. You know what I mean? Later. Like, okay, check it out. God places signs for us to get our attention. Man takes God's signs, and man, do we just blow that shit way up out of proportion. You know what I mean? We do. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing right now. I'm like, my head has been pounding for a day and a half now. I came home and my head is killing me from California. Had an awesome trip to California to visit my kids, even though I didn't really spend very much time except for with my oldest son, which I think maybe he needed, me the most. That's just the truth of the matter. I believe I was summoned there. That's how life goes for me. I don't believe that my life is my own. I believe that I can smell the rain in the air. I think that God is omnipotent, and man is trying to play God so much from everything from let's see what we got direct. We're trying to create creatures. My life is not my own, it is God's. I do not date. I do not search out and seek men to date. I do not make a lot of money. I'm not rich. I don't want a lot of money. I don't need a lot of money. I am playing the things that are just obnoxiously over and over on YouTube. Just riddled on there all the time, you know. And why is it riddled? Well, you know, it just is. There's nothing we can do about it. It just is, you know. And what do you do? What do we do? I love my kids. You know, they are MK Ultra mind fucked like no other. We have done it to them by allowing them to watch Disney, by allowing them to watch TV, by giving them the phones and the access to these computers. I don't drink anymore. I don't do drugs anymore. What I'm telling you folks is that by the grace of God, I sit here and I'm trying to open a veil and move the blinders off the eyes. What can we do about all of the crap, the pedophilia, the open, blatant disrespect for God, you know, that we as Americans are supposed to trust? The open disrespect for religion as it is set forth, you know? I don't know. We have twisted God's symbolism and His signs into whatever it is that we want it to be.
It's time to get obsessed for free. I'm blown away at the changes I've seen happen.
I'm getting stronger every single day.
Really, ask yourself, how bad do you want this?
Start your free trial on Beachbody
Wow.
On Demand.
It's
And
time
people
to
obsessed.
for free.
They're obsessed with
Did
this
you
stuff.
know that before winter, millions of birds and insects in the most extreme latitudes fly not towards the equator, but towards the pole? And that those animals, when given tracking devices, lose their tracking signal? Did you know that mosquitoes in the northernmost landmass, Greenland, are so large and aggressive they can take out a caribou calf? And did you know that explorers at the South Pole have reported that after a certain latitude, the sub-zero temperatures suddenly rise dramatically, yielding green, iceless land areas and lakes? This strange evidence of warmer regions all indicate that the North and South Pole may hold secrets beyond the idea of Santa Claus. In fact, they support a theory about Earth that some of the most celebrated geologists and astronomers have believed, that Earth is a spherical, spacious planetary body with enormous, continent-sized caverns deep within it, and large entrances miles across at the North and South Pole. They say inner Earth has water, oceans, and luminosity, and that it sustains not only plants and animals, but intelligent life. If this sounds like heresy, lay aside what you think you know, and we'll show you the evidence, the scientists, the legends, and testimonies behind the inner Earth theory, so that you can see why it may be the most game-changing information ever concealed from common knowledge.
AMKS Scottish Radio. We say what you ain't too afraid to say.
Life-sustaining
Go
and
heart,
inhabitable
humanity.
inner Earth.
Stand up for something, universe, or we're gonna fall for everything. Nothing is real anymore. The universe inside you.
Who wasn't taught that gravity is what makes an apple fall? We've believed this for roughly 300 or 400 years, since Isaac Newton defined it and its relationship to mass. Well, in 2017, two neutron stars collided and proved, indeed, it's not a force. It's actually a distortion in space-time. According to Einstein, an apple falls from a tree because the apple's responding to a curvature of space-time caused by the planet's mass. There's no attractive force called gravity. fair to say that's a massive paradigm shift. So, if we were wrong about gravity, could we be wrong about other theories, particularly those that involve it? How we measure Earth's mass. Today, the Cavendish experiment measures the mass of one object based on its tug to another. But even before the redefining of gravity, this theory had flaws. The gravitational conditions in a science lab are nothing like conditions in space, and the theory assumes that each particle exerts a fixed force upon all others, ruling out the very real possibility that particles near the surface of a planet might exert a force greater than those deep within it. So, if gravity is no longer a valid theory, and it's used to determine mass, and the mass of the Earth is overstated, then it follows that the masses of all other planets in the solar system are also overstated. If it's cavernous or hollow, then so too is every other planet in the solar system. Some of the greatest scientific minds have challenged the theory of a dense Earth. Around the same time as Newton, geophysicist, mathematician, and astronomer Edmund Halley, who predicted the orbit of his comet, said the magnetic anomalies of the Earth could only be the result of a different composition. He believed that beneath the Earth's crust were two thick concentric shells, and that each region potentially had its own atmosphere, luminosity, and was possibly even inhabited. If this idea sounds crazy, check out this NASA video taken showing Saturn's North Pole, with the exact counter-rotating fields that Halley described. And in this rare NASA video of Jupiter's pole...
What is that? What did she just knock over?
15 of these counter-rotating
She just knocked over the TV? Marcelino. She knocked over the whole TV. Oh my God, the cat is crazy. AMKS Goddess Radio. Check it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. The world has went crazy into hell in a handbasket. Nigeria, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is an American country. We are leaving it stranded without anybody. People have died. We need to fix it. Fix it quick. AMKS Goddess Radio, saying what you think, too afraid to say. Grow up, humanity. Stand up for something universal, or we will fall for everything. Meow.